Salutations readers, welcome back to my channel. My name is Nkechi, and for today I'm giving y'all my Q2 DNF wrap-up. Now, let's just address the elephant in the room, which is pretty obvious. Y'all know that this is not my kitchen at all. And that's because I'm actually house sitting for a couple of weeks. So I don't know how many videos I'm gonna be filming here in this house, but I'm gonna be doing a little bit of filming. So I just figured, let me move to a different spot since I filmed an update to a vlog somewhere else. But anyways, that's neither here or there. That's just a little bit preamble as far as our background right now. But I do have my laptop right over here where y'all are standing right now. So yeah, let's just get into the books that I did not finish. So first up, number of books I did not finish. And the title of the video, y'all know I did not finish 13 books. One of them actually is a repeat from the first quarter. So there is an overlap from Q1 to Q2. We'll talk about that when we get there. Series DNFs, well, this was a little bit hard because it's not like I fully finished reading the first book in these series. So I put in 3, but I didn't really finish reading the first book. So but then again, I was attempting to read the series and I didn't finish the first book. So yeah, at this point, they're series DNFs. And as far as number of 2024 releases / arcs, there are 3. Only one of them is an arc, but 2 of them have been new releases, unfortunately. But we'll talk about those when we get there as well. But I think that's all of the stats that I need to talk about for these DNFs. Other than that, let's just get right into it. I will link my previous DNF wrap-up videos down below in the TBR wrap-up playlist, so y'all can check that out. But we're gonna go by Saved by the DNF, Never Say Never, Wrong Book, Wrong Time. So we're gonna start with the worst of the worst, which is definitely Saved by the DNF. So first book on this list is The Daughters of Izdihar. I don't remember how far I've gone into this book, but unfortunately I didn't get very, very far. I think it was less than a quarter of the way through. I know for sure I was less than a third. But this was a book that I genuinely, I liked the themes and the messages I was trying to go for, but I really was not in the headspace to really absorb this kind of a story. I was really getting irritated with it. And the elemental magic, which this book has been known for and getting a lot of praise for, I don't really care for this kind of use of elemental magic. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna pass on this one. This one, it just doesn't work for me. I don't know if I'll read anything from this author in the future because I don't think the writing itself was my problem. It's just I just don't care about the story. So unfortunately, I just had to put this one down. Next up was Thunderbird Book 1. And I am very sad about this one because this was actually translated from Arabic to English, and the series isn't completed yet, but I think it's supposed to be completed later on in September. But I really could not get through this middle grade, young adult-ish fantasy. Unfortunately, even though it was so short, but I really just couldn't get into it. The writing style was just not it. And it probably is due to the translation and the flow of the sentences. So maybe in Arabic will probably sound better, but the English translation, I don't know. I don't want to say it's a bad translation, but it didn't grip me in the beginning. So I'm just I'm just passing. I'm just gonna pass. Next up is Dear Wendy, which I'm really glad I didn't have this one. I think it was less than a quarter of the way through, and I did listen to this one via audio. And again, my problem as well with this one is Natalie Naudus there's more than one narrator. Natalie Naudus is one of the narrators, and yeah, I can't really do much with Natalie Naudus anymore as far as a narrator anymore. Sorry. But also, I'm not here for this internet drama that's giving late high school. I mean, even though these characters are freshman year in college, their second semester, they still have this internet drama thing, and I think it was in the synopsis, but I didn't look too close in the synopsis. But when we get to the setup part of that, I checked out. I mentally checked out from that. And I was not going to continue on with this book with something that I'm genuinely just not interested in. I just want to just pass off by this one. I was done. And also, I don't really like the main characters at all, unfortunately. Next up was What You Are Looking For Is in the Library. And this one really sucks because I was waiting for months to get a hold of this audiobook, and I couldn't even get through the first vignette. Because I think each one are chapters, but it's kind of like the Terror Cat Calls the Goodbye Cat, where it's not really short stories, but they're interconnected vignettes. And I'm sorry, but I really could not care After I read the first story, I'm just yeah, I'm gonna check out. This was just boring. And then I also looked up the content warnings, and one of them is graphic fat phobia, because I think the main librarian, which we will see throughout the other stories, is a fat character. Not a main character, but a reoccurring character, and it looks like there's gonna be some a lot of fat phobia, and I'm like, I don't want to read a book with fat phobia. That's like a main thing. I don't want that. Not what I'm talking about, like a lot, like no, no, I'm not in the mood for that. No, thank you. So I said bye to that one. Next up is This Skin Was Once Mine and Other Disturbances. So this is a 2024 release. It came out in April, and I was really interested in reading this one because it was actually the NB Book Club pick for April as well. I'm not a guest host or anything, but like I really just wanted to read it. And also I've never read anything by Eric LaRocca before. I'm not gonna say that I don't think I'll ever will read anything by them, but this is not a short story collection I think I want to start off with, because it was just, I didn't even really finish even the first short story. It's literally only 4 short stories, and I couldn't even finish the first one, which was the titular main title, This Skin Was Once Mine. I couldn't even finish that one, not really because of the content itself, but really because I was just bored. I had it as an ebook, so I was reading on my Kindle, but I was generally getting bored, and I didn't feel like picking up my Kindle to read that book. So I'm just like, you know what? That's a sign to put this book down. I'll try Eric LaRocca again, but like if any of y'all have any like suggestions on which of their short story collections to start off with, or even a novella, let me know in the comments down below for someone who's literally never read anything by them, because like I've heard so much about Eric LaRocca, especially with, like, and within the horror book community, so like I want to read their works, but unfortunately this one was just boring. I need something more interesting. I don't mind if it's gory, just give me something that's interesting. And then the last book in this category was actually very much a recent DNF. I literally DNF'd it today as I'm recording it. It's literally June 30th, y'all. Like, this is the last day of the month. So I literally DNF'd it today, because I've been reading it for a while, and I just knew it should not take this long to listen to this audiobook, but I had to move on, and it was Cuckoo. This is my first time reading anything by Gretchen Felker Martin. This is the same author of Manhunt, which I've never read Manhunt, but I had heard some pretty good things about it since it's like a pretty gruesome, gritty horror. And Cuckoo is also gritty and gruesome because there is a lot of body horror. Because like I literally got through like 68%. I was like already a little bit over 2/3 the way through. And I got it as an advanced listening copy for Macmillan Audio, but unfortunately I just could not finish this book. I don't know, like the conversion camp thing, that was already a lot in the beginning. It was definitely very, very horrifying. Like the whole thing regarding the conversion therapy camp stuff. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is a lot. It was just a lot. Body horror I can handle, but conversion therapy, child, no. I wanted to just leave so bad. And since I was also listening to this one via audio, it is a multicast narration, so there are multiple narrators. The thing is for me is that I found that the multiple narrators very jarring and also overwhelming to me, because within the same chapter you can go through like 5 different, 6, 7, 8 different narrators within the chapter, and I'm like, what is going on? I'm so confused. Why are we following so many characters in one chapter? Because in my mind, when I think of multicast narration, I thought that maybe we have like a central main narrator we're following per chapter, and maybe we have interspersed with like other narrators, but not so many narrators within the chapter because we're following so many characters. And I'm like, this is too overwhelming. I'm getting confused. I don't even know who's who. I don't even care who's interested in who wants to fuck with who. I don't even give a damn. And I'm like, I'm already like 2/3 of the way through. I'm so tired. So I put it down. Anyways, let's get to category number 2, which is Never Say Never. So these are the books that I feel like are on the fence of being a hard DNF and a soft DNF. Like, I'm not totally sure where to put them. So one of them for sure is The Jasmine Throne. I already mentioned this book already. I think it's my May wrap up. Yeah, I mentioned that I DNF'd this book. Now, I did not unhaul it. I did decide not to unhaul it. One, because I already bought the books like this year, and the third and final book is coming out. So if I hear anything good about the ending of this trilogy, I will pick it up. But as of right now, I'm not in the mood to read The Jasmine Throne. The thing is though, is that Tasha Siri's writing though is really, really good. Like, I really love her writing and her world building. It's just that I don't think I was really in the mood for a political fantasy at the time I was reading it. So this is a series that I could easily see myself really enjoying in the future. It's just that right now, I am not in the mood to read a political fantasy right now. Next up is The Reformatory. Yes, this is the same Reformatory that I said I DNF'd. I think I said soft DNF'd in the first quarter, in like quarter 1 wrap up for the year. And y'all, this is just a tense. I got a little bit further in this DNF, but like I really, like there was a point in time I had a reading slow and I was like, I don't think I'm gonna come back to this book. I don't know when I'll come back into it, but at that point I was like, nope, I'm not gonna come back to it. Even when I finally recovered from my reading slow, I was like, nope, we're gonna put this book down. It's just a little too heavy right now for me to read, so I will come back to it when I really am ready mentally to absorb this story. Like, this is an important story and I really do want to read it, but I am not in the mood. And same thing with As Long as the Lemon Trees Grow. I know I put this in my Asian Readathon TBR, but I literally read the first chapter and it was really emotional. Like, it was a really emotional first chapter. And I'm just like, I'm not ready. I wasn't ready for that. I read the first chapter, put the book down, and then I didn't pick it back up again. I was like, you know what? We're gonna put this as a DNF right now. We'll come back to it whenever I'm ready. So kind of the same vein as the Reformatory. As Long as Lemon Trees Grow, I'm also not unhauling it. I still have it at home and I do plan to continue my read of that one. All right, that was a very short second section, honestly. So let's get to the third and final section, which is just run book run time. It's like, okay, this is not the book's fault. This is me and my timing and my mood reading tendencies. First up is There There. This one was when I was like, oh, am I in the mood for contemporary lit fic? I guess I was when I had the audiobook, but then I lost the audiobook and I'm like, well, I guess I'm not in the mood. Though I am kind of in the mood though for some lit fic. I didn't bring with me though. I feel like I'm getting back into the groove of like reading some literary fiction because I used to read a little bit more literary fiction like 2022, but then 2023 I was reading more like sci-fi and horror. So like, let's see if I can get back into literary fiction. We shall see how. I don't know yet. Same thing with Ling Hunt as well. This one I had on borrowed as an ebook from my library. I was not really in the mood for this one, but I feel like if I were to try it again, I think I'll have a better appreciation with the story. And then The Saint of Bright Doors. Yeah, I was really excited to actually read this one, especially since it did win the Locust Award for first novel. So I was like, oh, this book won an award. Let me read it. And I have it. And I still have it. I just didn't get past the first 30 pages. Hopefully I'll be in the mood for it, but at the time I was just not in the headspace to really absorb that story at the moment. But I do hope though to get back to it pretty soon because I still have the arc of his sophomore novel and I also did pre-order the audiobook, so I do own the audiobook for it as well. So I'm hoping to at least read that debut pretty soon. We shall see, but I'll let y'all know. I probably will borrow the audiobook again though. And then last but certainly not least is a book that I'm actually surprised that I did DNF, but I was just not really vibing with it honestly right now. And that's The Source of Self-Regard. Yes, by the Toni Morrison. Okay? Like, she's literally my favorite author of all time, and I DNF a book by her. Granted, this is a collection of selected essays, speeches, and meditations. However, I was just getting bored with this one. I really couldn't read it physically. I was not really engaged with it as an audiobook. I was just like, this book is just too long. I don't know, if it comes with essays collections, I don't think it needs to be this long. Or if so, I really need to take my time with it, but since this is a library copy, and also the audiobook was a library copy as well, I just like, I definitely need more time to really absorb it, but like, I was more interested with certain essays, speeches, meditations than others. So I just didn't care for all the, even though it's still brilliant, but like, I just was not mentally engaged with it. And I really thought I was going to read it though, so I can fulfill my reading goal of reading 4 nonfiction works. This would have been my 4th one, but I was just not in the mood for it, unfortunately. But anyways, that is it. That is all 13 books that I DNF'd in the second quarter. One of them is overlaps with the first quarter, but that's fine. But yeah, so far, y'all, I have been DNFing a lot, I feel as though, but not as much as I also think I probably would have been at this point in time. I'm not going to be surprised though if third quarter I DNF even more books. Hopefully not, but I tend to DNF a lot of books towards like the very end of the year, because at that point it's like, do I want to bring it up to the new year? Probably not. Anyways, that is it. What are books that y'all DNF'd this quarter in the past couple of months? Any DNFs that y'all like, ain't ever gonna come back? DNFs that are like, we shall see in the future. Or ones that are like, I'll come back to it. I was just not in the mood for it right now. Or the library snatched it away from me or something like that, That happens. Just let me know in the comments down below for y'all. Now, if you made this far into the video, please leave a person do the X sign emoji down below, so I know that you've made it this far. Anyways, thank you all for coming to this video. Like if you like it, subscribe if you want to, comment down below your thoughts, and I hope to see you all in my next video. Bye.